how do you set boundaries? Boundaries? No, I think we should go boundary.
How do you set boundaries?
Boundaries.
How do you...
Boundaries.
How do you communicate boundaries effectively to people who don't get it?
No, Sanna, it's boundaries. Boundaries? You didn't ask her opinion.
Yeah, you surely did not. We're gonna give it to you anyways.
It's the board of Bling Bros. I'm Sol.
And I'm Sanna. And this board is now officially in session.
Great. Today's challenge, I know we haven't done challenges yet, but this is our first challenge episode. Anyways, we're gonna try to talk as fast as possible and get through this as fast as possible. So today we're gonna talk about boundaries.
Yes, we are. Wait, like you're saying physically, like talk fast?
Well, we're just trying to get through this episode
Okay.
quickly, you know.
Because they can just put it on double speed.
Put it on double C, so we
Who's that? That you're trying to...
Alvin and the Chipmunks I'm trying to impersonate. Hashtag cool.
Christmas time, put your... And that's also Alvin and the Chipmunks. But boundaries, yeah?
Boundaries, yes. Boundaries specifically with family and relationships. So let's talk about... Okay, we'll start off with this. Okay, within a relationship, especially when you get married, you are setting up a new family.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of situations where your in-laws don't like your partner, and so you have to choose between your in-laws and your partner. So how would you set up boundaries when it comes to that dilemma?
I think most people are still trying to figure that out, but let's solve it today.
Yes, let's solve it today. Welcome to the podcast where two dumb girls try to attempt to solve the world's most difficult problems, such as drawing boundaries with your in-laws.
Honestly, that should be a new series that we do, where we like... The topic is like a world problem that we just solve.
We try to solve
like,
with
duh.
no knowledge. That screams ignorance, and that's a great way for us to get canceled. But it's okay.
Let's do it.
We've already been canceled, right?
Well,
we get some pretty harsh comments.
Yeah, we do.
No,
Yappers.
Yes, because we yap. Yes. What else do you want me to say? Yes,
It's a podcast. Of course we're gonna yap. What do you think? We're gonna talk.
Look at us drawing boundaries with our audience.
No, but like you listen to a podcast, which is people that is literally talking nonstop for like an hour, and you're like, these guys are yapping. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're yappers.
First
They're
of
doing a
all,
podcast.
Why are you listening? The other comment that we got the other day was like, yo, let's start a podcast. Yeah, what did you expect? Yes,
Like, of course.
We did sit there and we were like, yes, we should start a podcast. And guess what? I feel like we produce so par content. Okay, it's fine.
Well, but either way,
it's not subpar or above par. It's just par, okay?
But like, yes, but okay. So every person that has ever become successful has at one point said, you know what, I should do exactly what they ended up doing.
Yes.
Like, let's start a podcast. Yeah. That's usually how the conversation came to be. It's not like we were like, you know what, we should start a flower boutique. And then we ended up with a podcast.
We are starting a flower boutique.
Like,
Sanna.
you
Look at
are
that.
correct. You are correct. We did say
Yes,
that.
yeah, because you know what? We're talkative bitches, okay? And so we are gonna talk. Might as well be talking to a mic where we can use our talkness.
Yeah. Actually, this is not a podcast anymore. This is a monologue with you two people in the comment section. And I'll comment for you. It's like, you thought this was a regular episode with boundaries about family and relationships. The boundary with you.
Yeah. What's that other ridiculous... I mean, we get some funny comments here and there. What's the other one that he said? He said he wasted 1 minute. It was a 20-second
short?
Yeah, it was a 20-second short. And he's like, wow, I just wasted 1 minute of my life. And I'm like, oh, wow. Did you watch it 4 times?
Yeah. Honestly, we're not even that famous. So if you're that deep into the algorithm on scrolling shorts, that our video popped up for you, then probably you've been scrolling a little too much, okay?
Yeah. But that was my favorite comment. I laughed at that. I was like, wow, geez, thanks.
Yeah.
And then, you know.
And then, well, one comment. I know what they were trying to say, okay? But they said anyone can have a podcast. They said they should. I'm like, well, yeah, technically.
It's called hashtag social media.
Yeah, like, I know that what you were saying is that you guys think that you can have a podcast. I know that's what they're saying, but I'm like, yeah.
And guess what?
They
have
let
a
you
podcast.
comment.
Exactly. Guess what? Do you have a podcast?
Let's exchange. Let's support each other.
So bad. So here was a very great example of us trying to draw boundaries.
Honestly, I hope we get more hate comments because we get so triggered.
I don't think we get triggered, Sanna.
No.
I make it a point to like all the comments because you know, honestly, it's not. Some of them is really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just, when I read it, I don't know how to react to this, so this is really funny.
I do wonder what triggers someone, though, to write comments like that. Because it has to take me quite a bit to, like, comment something, like, negative on someone's post.
Yeah, when there's certain people on the internet that anger me, for sure, but they're really well known to be angering people.
Yeah.
So.
And, like, you know, I'm not going to get into that. But
right.
I had to.
Hashtag preventing being canceled.
But so how I think that you can set up boundaries with your family.
Yes. How do you choose between your partner and your family?
Well, I think that's why boundaries. Well, okay. Maybe this is a blonde moment, okay? But because we always talk about like, creating boundaries. You're literally creating boundaries. So it's new. It's an adjustment. Like someone is getting less and someone's getting more, or so everyone has to adjust to these new circumstances. Yeah. And so if you're parents and you're used to having this type of relationship or impact or influence in your child's life, and now they're getting married, that will be an adjustment for them. Some parents deal with it better than others.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't approve of the spouse, or they, I don't know, maybe they don't know them well enough, or maybe they see something that you don't. Either way, I think setting those clear boundaries is probably tough because it's an adjustment period. And you have to remember because in a way you're letting go of these strong boundaries, you'll still be strong with your family, but you're letting go of the family a little bit, and then you're establishing your own. So you have to give a little less to your family
and
a little more to your partner.
Yeah.
So you have to remember not to have your partner feel like they're fighting to get your approval and your family's approval.
Right. But
in a way,
you know what I just dawned on me is that your parents were once in your shoes.
Yeah.
So they were breaking off from their family and building this family unit. And so that's probably why they feel so attached to their children, is because you were in my unit that I've built.
Yeah.
And now you're breaking off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I haven't been a parent, so I can only very biasedly look at the situation from my point of view.
I'm a parent of 4 sourdough starter jars. I birthed another one today.
Is this another ad? Like, do you have a sourdough business?
Maybe I should, but
yeah.
I do make sourdough, which I need to fondle when I get home.
They're really good.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes, I haven't given you a loaf in a long time.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to business. Drawing boundaries. Yeah. It's just, yeah.
I think it's tricky, but yeah, go ahead.
It is tricky. For me, I think your partner probably deserves, especially if you're married.
Yeah.
Your partner deserves more of your attention than your family does at that point.
Yeah. Well, and if you got married, you chose the person.
Yeah. And now you're building
in most situations. So you have to remember that you chose them.
Right.
And then you have to prioritize them. And it's like, it's very cliche, but it's like what they say about like marriages and like them being long term, that you have to choose to love them. Like you have to choose them. And you have to choose to put them first.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes the family is not following or adhering to the boundaries because you, not on purpose, but you involve them too much, for example.
Yeah.
In decisions, for example, that should be between you and your partner.
I think I do that a lot.
Yeah.
now my family probably would say something different, saying that I don't pay enough attention to my family, but my family's approval is very important to me, and I feel like that becomes a source of conflict a lot of the time because my partner could feel like I'm choosing between my family or them, and they feel like they have to constantly compete with my family, which isn't fair. I'm trying to cultivate an environment where it's not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. Family, it's just the bonds between your partner and your family is just really deep. So I don't know what's the right balance.
Me neither.
Yeah,
I don't.
It's difficult.
There's no one answer fits all. Like it depends on your family. It depends on how close you were with them, what kind of expectations they have. Maybe your mistake is that you are putting the boundaries very suddenly. That's not a mistake, but like you can definitely put boundaries in a smoother way,
right?
Or have like more of a soft. That's easier said than done. Like
it's
being like you can do it smoother,
yeah.
like sure, but maybe something happens and you're like, wait, hold on, I just realized this is a boundary, and then you set it.
Yeah, I feel like there's nothing wrong with setting boundaries abruptly, but just figure out a way to set a boundary where you're proving loyalty to your partner, but also making sure that your family knows that you're not abandoning them.
Yeah,
because I can't answer this question. It's so hard. I don't know how to answer this.
Well, let me give you this scenario. So your family is super close to you, like super close, super involved, and they're also very excited, but they just want to be part of your relationship. Your partner's family, not very involved. They're like, they kind of take a step back. They're very relaxed, not super close, don't call a lot, don't involve themselves, don't care too much. But your partner, like, how do you deal with that? Because then there's different family expectations. So one partner is like, well, my family doesn't do that. Well, but your family operates differently than my family, so the same parameters don't necessarily fit them. That's a lot of adjustment for one.
Yeah. My mom says, and again, it's easier said than done. She always says that at a certain point, you just have to admit that you guys think differently and acknowledge your differences and move on from there, is what she said. And so
not everything needs to be resolved where you have one answer.
Maybe you just have to accept that your families are different. I think the only time it becomes an actual thing you have to talk about is how you're going to build your own family. Yeah. What's the dynamic going to be in my family? Because if one partner feels strongly that it should be this way, and the other partner feels strongly that it should be this way, and it's completely, then you have crashing ideas, because then you're crashing on what you want to build. So I don't know. It's a hard balance. I feel like we haven't really answered this question, but I guess we can move on to the next one and talk about maybe if drawing boundaries between friends is easier than drawing boundaries within family.
Yeah.
Boundaries between friends. And then we end it because this is a speed episode. Kind of. We're trying to. Anyways, bye. Are you sour? Then make sourdough. Turn sourness into bread. Welcome back from our ad break. So, have you seen this person? I don't know if they're on TikTok or YouTube or something, but they make a bunch of videos about how to draw boundaries between friends. They answer people's questions and play out the scenario.
No, I've only seen the girl who draws boundaries out in the workplace.
Okay. There's a girl who draws boundaries between friends, and I was watching it, and I was just thinking, it sounds so formal. You know, it sounds like that would never happen in real life. And if someone sat me down to tell me that shit because they had a problem with something, I'd be like, first of all, you could have just sat me down and said, yo, I got a problem with this. Be like, oh, cool, I'm sorry you had a problem with that. Okay, what can we do from here? Yeah. That would be a normal conversation, not like, I feel that this needs to be addressed and blah, 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 blah. And
as my friend,
and
I want to be very honest and candid with you.
I'm like, stop this bullshit, please.
But I do think, because you were asking before the break, if it's harder, or like if it's how it is to draw boundaries between friends. If
it's harder with family or with friends?
Yeah, honestly, I would almost argue that maybe it's harder with friends, because
I think so too.
Because they have no obligation to stay. They have no
Yeah.
tie to stay. So my idea is that we should involve the government and get some like friendship licenses.
This is not where I thought you were gonna go. My idea is for the government to set up friendship licenses.
Yeah, it's way hard to break up. You know, like you can be honest, and if they
Wow.
want to leave you, like
Well,
there's documents involved, paperwork.
Please pay a $150 fee to terminate our friendship.
Your friendship has been terminated. I'm serving you termination of friendship.
Papers. Well, here's my theory. With family, the bond is deeper, so it's almost like you're obligated to set those boundaries to keep family.
Yeah.
Whereas friends, it's easier to sweep things under the rug because the bond isn't that deep.
Yeah.
It's not as deep. I mean, some friends, it's really deep, and sometimes
Yeah.
it's deeper than family. But most of the time, it's just easy to be like, it's just not worth it to make this a conflict.
Yeah, let's just say that we're different and let's move on.
Mm-hmm. And I think if you care more, then more things bother you. And I just feel like you care about your family more.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that happen with them affect you more than things that happen with friends. Because
Yeah.
the same thing could happen with your family member or your friend.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to bother you more? It's going to be your family member. What they say is going to hurt more than what
Yeah.
your friend says. I mean, think about it. In relationships,
Yeah.
you fight about the craziest, the tiniest things, and you cry about it. If the same thing happened with your friend, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
just-
you kind of brush over, move up, like
Yeah, you just don't care as much.
Yeah.
But then your partner could say, "Hey, don't eat my
you look a
French
little
fry."
tired today. What do you mean I look tired
What do you
today?
mean? It's because I'm not wearing makeup.
Yeah, you think I'm ugly without makeup? You think I'm trying to be me?
Yeah, yeah,
Is it because of this bit right here?
yeah, yeah.
I'm just kidding, but
I think for me personally, I do have a problem with sweeping things under the rug. I just find it easier to just ignore things, which I have recently found is affecting my life
Yeah.
so negatively. And I've been working on it, but I didn't realize how much interweaved it is in my entire life. So when I have conflicts with friends, I just find it easy to just sweep things under the rug.
yeah, it is easier, but things build up,
Yeah.
but just to sit a friend down, it almost becomes that formal conversation
It's
you were
so
talking
formal.
about.
I
Like,
had
I just want to talk to you.
I just want to talk to you for a second.
Yeah, I just want to take something up that's
Listen,
been bothering me like a little
yeah.
bit.
I'm like,
Um,
okay, talk away.
yeah, I'm not good at that. Also, can we just like acknowledge that sweep it under the rug is such a funny term because it's old, like it's been around for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And it just shows me how like we've always been lazy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it is because you could sweep it outside, but you choose not to because it's
sweep it under
easier to
the
sweep
rug.
it. It's easier to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, like we've always looked for shortcuts. That's like people's default. But anyways,
So most of my friendships, I've had a couple of times where people did sit me down to talk to me, and just the more formal it is, the more uncomfortable I get.
yeah, why is it so I don't why is it so uncomfortable with friends?
Why do you have to just be casual with me? The fact that you're formal with me makes it seem like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I don't know. I struggled with it once when my friends sat
Yeah.
me down and had this whole formal conversation. Like,
what's going on?
wait, this too? What?
Well then,
This too?
okay, maybe it's also strange because it's saying that the other person has a certain expectation of how you're supposed to behave.
Yeah.
But your obligation to them is, I'm not going to say just friendship, but it's friendship.
Yeah.
And versus when you and your like spouse partner sit down and talk about something, it's to adjust to
Right.
like the expectation is different. And I'm not saying that you're not in the right to speak your mind. Like obviously if something is a problem and
Yeah.
it's a sign that you want the relationship or friendship to function
right.
and
right.
work well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the bar for you to have to sit someone down to talk to them. Like, it has to be pretty, I don't know if I'm wrong for this, but I feel like it has to be pretty, not major, but like, you can't just have your friend adjust because you just don't like that. You know?
Yeah, because there's a story about this one girl freaked out because the girl bought 3 chains and the other girl had 3 chains. Like, that's crazy. That person's insane. I mean, when I got sat down last time, it was 2 situations. One very close friend that I've been friends with almost a decade. And she was hurt that I didn't spend enough time with her. And it was a tricky situation, but I totally see how she was hurt.
Yeah.
And for me, it was important that she told me that she was hurt. Now, did she sit me down and be like, I have to talk to you for a second? And this and this and this. No, she said, listen, I was trying to brush this over, but I was really hurt, and I just need to tell you this and get this out there.
Conversation with you.
I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel like that, blah, blah. But that friendship, I appreciated that from her because that's the level of friendship that we have. The other time, it was very formal, and seemingly to me, it was out of nowhere. And then from that point on, there were certain questionable things that were said that I was kind of upset with. But at that point in the friendship, I didn't really feel like it was worth it for me to address what hurt my feelings. Because it's just easier to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
easier. And
It was just, I don't need to address this with you because I don't want to make it bigger than it is. Because the things that you talked to me about, they didn't seem too big to me. So I was
Yeah.
like, I feel like I'm just making drama out of nothing.
well, if you guys were roommates, would it be different?
It'd be different because there's higher stakes.
Right?
Yeah.
So if it's a friend that you just like, you're friends, but you don't see each other every single day.
Right. But then also, I wouldn't want my roommate to sit me down and have a formal conversation either.
No?
I would want my roommate to be straight up with me and just if there's something I'm doing that's bothering them, I'd just be like, hey, listen, this is kind of bothering me. Could you not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if it's something, now if they're saying, hey, could you not leave your toothbrush in the toothbrush holder because it's bothering me? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm going to leave my toothbrush in my toothbrush holder. It's a toothbrush holder. That's where toothbrush is supposed to go. But if it's like a reasonable ask, I want you to just tell me straight up, hey, listen, your shoes are by the door. It's getting annoying when I open the door. I'll be like, oh, sorry, let me put my shoes back in my room.
It just becomes more casual.
It's just
if
more
you
casual.
Just bring it up as a casual, like, as a conversation when you're just in the same room. Like, hey, by the way, I just wanted to let you know about this. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, if you say it more casually and in a fun way.
Yeah.
Not in a serious, I'm mad at you way, but if you're like, listen, that's kind of getting annoying. Can you not?
Yeah.
Be like, okay, yeah, sure, for sure. I'm sorry.
Like, hey, it's just important for me that we keep the kitchen clean. Can you just be a little better at the dishes? Right. You could even text that.
But if you make it super formal, then every time I interact with you, it's just going to get uncomfortable. Yeah. Then it's going to be like, ugh, what is it now? Mm-hmm. What do you want now? What's your problem now? It's just ours to experience. Just be fun, I think, in my opinion.
I agree with
Drawing boundaries. There are certain boundaries where you should be serious about. Like, let's say I'm taking a friend's personal experience. At a certain point, her family was really huggy and touchy, but at a certain point in her teenage years, she just felt like, I don't feel comfortable doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I don't want to, I'm sorry, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't
and
wanna
the
be
family saying, you have to, that's a serious boundary you're crossing. If someone doesn't want to touch you, they don't have to touch you.
Yeah, because
I don't care if you're family or not.
People have different boundaries with that. Like, I'm not
a touchy person.
The list is short. It's limited to one.
I know. The other day, SANNA gave me a hug when we were leaving. I was like, this is new. Because sometimes we hug and sometimes we don't. And so when we do hug, I'm like,
this is special.
You want a hug? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always had a hard time with that. I'm like,
when do we hug?
I'm like, I am here.
Yeah, that's how I feel uncomfortable too when I visit a friend's family and they want a hug. I'm like, Okay, I see that you're reaching your arms out on me. Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, with my Latino friends,
Yeah.
you say hi, you kiss on the cheek, right?
Yeah.
That's really easy for me though. To say hi to them mwah, like that.
Yeah.
That's easy for me. But so maybe it's just the dynamic.
For me, it depends.
Because if you
Also, if I'm meeting one person, like one of my friends, then I will hug. But if I'm meeting like 5 of my friends at the same time, then I think I'm like,
nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
yeah, you're like, look.
For those of you who are listening, Sanna just touched my finger, the tip of my fingers for 1 second, and then took her hand and immediately swept it on her pants. No, so maybe it's when it comes to physical touch, it depends on how the dynamic started. Because a lot of my Latino friends, we just started saying hi like that.
Yeah.
So then for me, it's not uncomfortable for me to do that with them because it's like saying hi.
Yeah.
With my other friends. They're like, hi. It's just like, hi. Mwah.
Yeah, I guess it depends on where it starts.
Yeah.
Or what, like, the expectation is. But yeah, hugging is hard for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It depends on the person. Like,
I don't want people to feel offended, though, that I don't hug them. Because it's...
I never feel offended.
I know, but I'm wondering sometimes people feel offended that I don't hug them, so I hug them.
So I visited a friend's house on Mother's Day, and we visited their parents, and I never know if it's a full hug or a side hug. I overthink things.
Yeah.
I never know if it's a full hug or a side hug. So like to their mom, I gave them a side hug. So I was like, I don't know where we're going with this.
Yeah.
Side hug. And I was going to give their dad a side hug too because I gave the mom the side hug and the dad went in for a full hug. So I was like, okay, I guess we're doing a full hug now. And then I hugged their grandma because she wanted I was like, is this a side hug? I guess it's a full hug now. And then I thought, did I mess up not giving the mom a full hug? Was I supposed to give her a full hug?
I would think that she wouldn't.
I hope not, but I'm still worried about it today.
Yeah. I get,
Did I
but
mess
those are
up?
those type of things that you overthink. You know what though? We should start doing instead of hugging. Like if someone comes up to you, just go like kiss their hand. Great meet.
He's like, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, let's do that moving forward. In terms of setting boundaries between friends and family, it's easier between family, is what we said,
Maybe, but that's hard too. So,
but who knows? Who knows? I feel like we answered 0 questions today.
Yeah.
One more break, we'll close up our session. And you're welcome for the needless advice, needless stories, but some funny ass jokes.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Are boundaries cool? I think they're cool. Courtesy of the Bling Bling taglines. So boundaries, are they cool?
boundaries are cool.
I would, you know what? I actually think boundaries are cool.
Boundaries are cool. Are
Boundaries
setting
are cool.
boundaries cool? Not always. It's fun to set boundaries.
It's not fun to set boundaries, but they're cool.
They're cool.
It's probably productive, but also save the seriousness for the appropriate level.
Yeah.
Don't make people unnecessarily uncomfortable. Because if you make people unnecessarily uncomfortable, they're not going to want to be around you.
Yeah. Don't assume that they will react in a poor way because you let them know about a preference that you have or something that's important to you.
Or I guess if they do react in a poor way and of something that is important to you, then maybe they're just not a person you want in their life, in your life.
Or maybe care less.
I'm just a easy...
Don't have so many.
Yeah. Don't have friends. Don't have friends.
Don't have so many, like, for it to be perfect for me, everyone has to be doing this and that. Like,
yeah, people are different. For me, I just feel like I'm really easygoing, but I'm also very oblivious. So I might do something that's offensive, but I have no idea that I just did something offensive. In my country, it means I have nunchi, which I don't know what nunchi means, but I have no nunchi. It's like I have no tact. I don't pick up cues very well.
okay.
Yeah, I'll say, like this one time I went to an ice cream shop and this This woman had these super long, like
Lashes?
crazy long,
Lashes?
yeah, fake eyelashes. They were super thick, crazy long. I told her, hey, I love your lashes. They look like a drag queen's lashes. I meant it as a compliment.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought they looked like a drag queen's lashes. And I think drag queens are fabulous. So I saw nothing wrong with it. My friend was right next to me and she's like, she didn't like that compliment at all. She said thank you, but she did not like it. I was like, oh, really? I didn't even notice.
Oh my gosh.
I just know I'm
You
well-meaning. I don't
Made her day really bad.
I'm just saying, maybe people aren't trying to deliberately hurt you.
Yeah.
Maybe they just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't be a dick. I feel like we say that a lot. Don't be a dick.
And boundaries are cool.
Boundaries are cool. Don't be a dick. Okay, one session is closed. Anything last things to say?
No.
No? Okay. Bye.